What is going on, guys? Oh, don't look, I'm in my underwear. Okay, that is better. So guys, welcome back to the All of Fabric 5 server. So in today's episode, I want to get started with the create mod over there. Now, I have been doing some off-camera mining. We've never really got a chance to take a look at our resources. We've just been kind of going along with Dragon and adventuring. We haven't actually gotten to start our base, and I really want to do that. We have a giant mess of everything. I got a bunch of these random blocks that I was just thinking of, like, these could be possible base blocks to check out. Up here, I tried to stay organized and use my tools and potions and stuff, but this got filled up and moved over to here for a little bit. And then this became the bulk storage. As you see, a lot of deep slate, a lot of cobblestone. And the secret to the deep slate is these. I learned a little bit of coding. I was originally just doing the tunnel thing that Dragon showed me, but I did some research and I learned how to download other people's codes. And so I downloaded a person's code that makes these three strip mine. This guy creates the main tunnel. This guy goes on the right side and starts strip mining on the right side, and this guy goes on the left side. And what's cool is they'll replace blocks as they're going so I don't get lava flows and stuff. I also ran into a goblin trader and he was selling sponges, and that was super awesome, so I got them. Now this, I didn't know about. I was just gonna put on top of here, and Dragon said that they actually do this. It is the most derpy looking thing I've ever seen. But this is all of our ores. We are pretty rich, and I've actually been not smelting these yet because there are ways to get more out of the resources. Currently, Dragon has a pulverizer, so I've been doing that for my copper and my iron, but I want to get even higher. Now, we did kill the dragon last episode, so we do have these dragon skills, which we can use to make this dragon stuff, but first we need netherite. Although that's actually kind of tempting, getting a trident, because it does more damage than the netherite sword. We'll have to take a look at this, but what's cool though, we can actually get a bow, which would be awesome, but we don't have mending. That is my main issue, is we have no enchants. Now, I have been doing a lot of enchanting to try to get a good pick. I do have efficiency 5 and silk touch, and I think we have some unbreaking somewhere in here, but I need to get a fortune thing so that way I can mine all of these. I want to mine these down to get as much of this raw stuff as possible. But for today, I want to start with the create mod and just get the foundations made up. Now, we got these two griffins over my shoulder. I like the kind of brown and golden color one more, so I'm going to be giving that gray one to Dragon. Although they're both technically under my name, so I think he might need to breed them together, but we can do that. Now, I did work on getting some of these quests done. So apparently over here, we actually got all of these, and I've been working on Arcanus. So as you guys saw during the dragon fight, I have this wand, and I've learned all of these skills, and I've actually put them all in here. So we got all these spells that I've already learned, and they're extremely useful. Now, to get the next wand upgrade, you see that XP level? We need to get that maxed up, and it doesn't matter if you kill things, you just need to use your wand. So I've just been like spamming the magic missile, since it's all one button, and using it up so I can get closer and closer to the thing. Now, we actually got bunny hop, which lets me do big jumps on grass, which is awesome. But yeah, so to get started, andesite alloys. These are the lifeblood of create. You just do it with andesite and zinc nuggets, and apparently iron nuggets. I didn't realize that. Iron would be better, I think. Maybe, I'm not sure. Zinc is used in a lot of other stuff, but I do have some of the general things, like an andesite casing you will use a lot. I also have small cogwheels. So you can hold W and ponder, and it'll actually show you this kind of cool little video showing the different ways you can use it, and like teaching you guys how you can like speed up and kind of change how everything is working. It's a really awesome system as far as trying to learn how to do mods. Sadly, our Zarpatok actually died or vanished, I don't know. I had left him next to some pillagers. I didn't see them kill it, but he wasn't responding to my summon call. So he might be gone, which is where the griffins came in. Now, we got this shaft that is also another big part of create, but we also want to get kelp. Kelp is going to be a pretty big thing as far as what it can make you. Yeah, the andesite alloy has to be made out of andesite, which also sucks. But over here, I'm going to be making a kelp farm. Now, if we pop down into this little hole here, this is where I've been mining. So originally, this is the tunnel thing. So if I were to throw this up, if you were to say tunnel and then type in like 5, he would move 5 blocks forward from this point and dig out a little 2x3 like they're doing here. Well, I learned how to do this. So I don't know coding, but from the videos I've watched, I understand a little bit of the surface level stuff. So the big thing being paste bin. This is where people online can create links to the paste bin and it'll automatically put code in for you. So I did paste bin run and then you type this in. Now this is by, I don't know if he was the original owner, but this is the gamer tag of the person I found it by. So I don't know if that's the original owner, but that's where I got it. And if I were to run this, it's asking, is it the main branch, which would be this, or a side branch? So then what happens is you can choose the length the main branch goes. Now you need to supply them with torches and redstone torches, but as they go along, the main branch will put all these down. The side branch you can then set up to go however many blocks you want. They'll go through, they'll be putting torches down and mining all this out. But if you notice these holes here, this is actually me digging it out. They'll put cobblestone or whatever you give them in the walls to stop like lava flows and everything. I just picked it back up so I can recycle it as we continue, but this is where I got all of my deep slate from, and they mine it instantly. It's no speed difference than stone, so it was much more efficient to do it down here. So that was a spell that I just used, and as you see, it used up all of my magicka. Now we actually have this mana flask which we can use in combat scenarios, but it's not as much of an issue. Now if we come over here, this is where I'm going to be doing my create stuff. So I wanted to keep this kind of like beautiful view from my base, but over across this area we'll be doing create. So we got these general things. But honestly, what we just need to do is set up the beginning of a base. So we'll put all of our create stuff in this through time and it'll expand and everything. The first thing I want to do though, so that way we can farm it while we're working, is get all of this kelp made up. Okay, so that is all of my kelp. So now we just need to start with the beginning, which is power. So the furnace engine is the best type of producer that I know of. There might be some newer stuff that I'm not aware of, but what we're going to start out with is this water wheel. They're fairly cheap to make. It's mainly just wood slabs and then a large cogwheel, which is more wood, and then an andesite alloy. So we can either do it this way or we can also do it with wooden plates. I'll need to do the math and see which one's more expensive over the long run. But just through all this, we're going to make a lot of water wheels, which will be our power source. Now eventually we can use the encased fan. So this does a lot of things. So you can use it to push things. You can also use it to cook with lava or clean with water. But this is the other thing. If it's over something that produces heat and has a redstone signal, it actually makes power. So it's a very nice, easy way, and it's slow, but it's an easy way to try and make power. And I actually prefer using magma blocks since they don't produce any noise and they're stackable. Now you can also use a hand crank. You literally just, it's a manual thing that you can crank. In that picture, they showed off a stressometer. So this will tell you how much stress the whole machine is under. Now there's an easier way to get around that, and that is by creating some of the tools that Create gives you. So you can make these engineer goggles. They're very easy to make, but just by having them on, it allows you to see the stress impact, the speed, and how much fluid there is and stuff. So it is very important. Now there's other things, like the wrench allows you to rotate things and dismantle. There's also things like the wand of symmetry for building, or an extendo grip. So there's a lot of kind of unique things, but we just need to get started out. So I'm going to make some water wheels. So looking at the recipes, I have found that this is going to be cheaper, even though this gives you 2. This is basically 12 wood planks for 2 wheels, if we're only looking at these, not the cog. Whereas this would be 6 wood planks to get 12 slabs. So you actually get more than you need. So this will be the cheaper method. Okay, so just for the beginning, we are going to use 6 water wheels. So the plan, we're not actually going to put them in the water. We could, or we can just store them underground. Now you need to make sure you know which way these are going. So looking at the spokes, we want the water to be doing this, right? So what you end up doing, we'll take dirt here and go across here, so you can build in that. We're gonna put flowing water right here. So this means it'll come over, drop down, and come back over here, so it creates a full cycle. We'll do this across all of them, and that'll be our underground storage for all of that. So we're gonna travel back to base, and we're going to grab some glass so we can make it look nice and we can see what's going on inside there. We're also going to grab as much andesite as we can, and it looks like that is all of it. And then we shall grab a lot of iron and iron nuggets. The nice thing about it being down there is that allows us to just fly over, and then we can teleport when we need to. What we're going to do is we're going to go up here, and as you see, it's already flowing. And it's actually causing the entire thing to flow. I don't know if we'll need to put it on every single one, but I am going to just in case. It might make it go faster, or it might add more power. I'm not entirely sure. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cover this thing up. So it's all doing this, and then we can take from this little section here, we can begin our rotations. Now we don't actually have any magma blocks, so I'm going to go to the nether and go grab those real quick. Now it seems like as I continue using these spells, it's actually costing less and less, which is nice. Okay, we got 2 stacks. I'm out of here. I wonder if this will work. It does, even across dimensions. That is perfect. So we got all the magma we'll ever need for a while. I'm just going to store everything in there. So I want to make an encased fan. To do that, we can get all of these, but we need a propeller, and that's where iron plates come in. So we actually will need a mechanical press. So it's a block of iron, so we can make that right now. So we have our mechanical press. Now we can set this up to connect to there, or we can speed up this process down here. What I want to do is make a gearbox. So these are very helpful for when you need to turn or adjust these. So right now it's coming out horizontally. Now you can use belts to turn as well, and I'll show that later. But for now, since we don't have belts, we'll be using this, and we can just place right on top of there. And now we have a moving shaft. Now hopefully our kelp has started growing, because this is how you make belts. So if we come over to our base here and we start cooking up some kelp, it'll turn into dried kelp, and dried kelp can be used to make a mechanical belt. And what's cool about that is it can go over a very long distance. Okay, so we got our mechanical belt. So I just showed this way so you can turn your stuff. Now our mechanical press has a horizontal thing, not a vertical, and these just won't connect unless I make another gearbox, which that would be wasted. So what we're going to do instead, we can take back our gearbox and all of our shafts, and instead we can stick it out like this, so it is going outwards. We can then place our mechanical press facing that and stick a shaft above this shaft. So now we got these two shafts here. We can attach a mechanical belt there, and you see those particles, that's where it'll be going. Attach it there. So this is pulling that, which is moving this. So if we break that block, this will be automatically pressing for us. Now what's also cool is you can put multiple shafts in these. But because this is spinning, what I end up doing is if we go like this, we can use this rotation to create a belt here. So we can have a horizontal belt that the mechanical press will crunch things on. Now, I wanted to make that encased fan, which uses 4 iron plates. So I'm going to take 4 iron ingots, throw them underneath. It is now going to crunch those iron ingots for me. Okay, so now we are going to make that propeller, and then we're going to make this encased fan. Now remember, this needs power. So we're going to go back to my base and almost kill myself apparently. Okay, so we have a lava bucket, the encased fan, and a lever. So now we can start making some farms and other unique things. Remember, the encased fan can be used for power or it can be used for cooking. I plan on using it for cooking. So what we'll end up doing is we got all this space here. Since we already got this thing here, we're going to do this. So we'll take that. Now notice it's actually going the wrong way. We don't want it to be doing that because that's going to suck in. Now there is one way to reverse that, which is with the gear shift. When this is given power, it actually reverses the rotation as you see here. So that is what we are going to do. So we're going to take that out. Okay, so we got the gear shift. So we'll just place it on that, and it should be able to be direct, just like that. So if we do this, there we go. So now we can first put a block there and then lava. So if I step through that, we get caught on fire. But this can also cook things. So if we were to throw in ores or whatever, that would work. And this is all from the same power source. And if this gets overstressed, we can just add more power sources. Now, some things cannot be cooked with this. You have to use the fire. I want to see if kelp works. If that turns to dried kelp, then we can use this. Nope, it doesn't. So we'll need to actually use a fire pit instead. Now you can use actual fire or you can use a campfire, I believe. I'm just gonna use an actual fire because we have netherrack. So we're just gonna put this in the ground here and throw that there. So now it will cook things and we can still catch on fire. So basically I'm just gonna be cooking all my kelp and food from this, or we can swap that out with our lava here to cook metals. Now this is focused on automation, so a big thing is stuff like the mechanical drill, the saw, the deployer, portable storage interface, and the harvester. These 3 and the harvester are how you can harvest blocks of different types. The storage interface takes those items from the storage of the machine and puts them into chests, which we can also filter and do other things with. As you see here, we just got all that dried kelp for free, very fast as well. So now we can make a whole lot of mechanical belts. Now we also have these crushing wheels, but that involves making these mechanical crafters because it is a larger item to craft. And these mechanical crafters, this is where it starts getting a little more complicated. It uses brass sheets, which come from brass ingots, which comes from mixing copper and zinc, but it needs to be an actual mechanical mixer with a blaze burner on top of it and a basin. Now, this is an easy source of making power that can do a lot of things, but when I make farms, I like to use windmills. So you can make these sails here, and they technically don't actually need to be full unless they've changed that. Originally, you can actually just do the sail frames. But either way, you need to make a lot of white sails, and you can actually make windmills that rotate, and as they rotate, they harvest your crops. But to make everything connect, you need super glue, which the thing has changed a bit. I don't remember an iron plate, but you need a lot of slime balls. Now, we don't have a slime farm. That's where Create is also awesome. You can make slime balls. You can make slime dye and dough, which the lime dye you can get from different types of things. The sea pickle might be the easiest just because it gives it automatically. Or you can mix white dye and green dye, which would be easier. You can make a cactus farm and then use bone meal to turn to white dye to make your lime dye. Now, dough is a little more complicated. You need wheat and water, and the wheat flour you get from milling the normal wheat. So there's a lot of automatic processes that have to happen there, but it allows you to use this for quite a while. Now, this is actually using gold, which we can make right now. So I'm going to go to base. So we're going to come over here, drop our gold ingot so it can get crushed. Pick that up. And now we can make our goggles. Now the goggles can actually go there. And what's funny is our eyes, if I take off our blindfold, it's supposed to go on top of your head, but it's actually part way covering my eyes. But when I put this on, it shoves it downwards. So now I just kind of have this weird madness going on. It's weird. But by having these glasses on, now I can see how much stress this is taking and how much this is giving. Now, we actually do have some slime, so we can actually make our super glue right away. And because of all the string we have, we can actually make a lot of white wool, and we already have some actually, so we should be good to go. Okay, so we got our super glue. So if I watch a video here, so this is a rotator thing. So this is how we'll be making a farm. So we'll attach some chests so it'll keep the stuff it's harvesting, and then we can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. Now, we actually want to get a wrench, so we're going to need 3 gold. So with our gold here, we're going to plate it out. Now, like I said, the wrench allows us to like rotate things. We can also pick up the blocks much easier. So you got pistons here, which these are awesome. They act as normal pistons, but you can add an extension pole to it. So instead of just doing one block, it can push much further. So we'll use the windmill bearing, and then we connect the radial chassis to it. And the blocks for the harvesters will connect to this as well as the windmill itself. Okay, so we got our windmill thing, and we'll actually make 2 of these. So I want to make multiple farms. And then we just need a lot of radial chassis. So maybe we'll make 12 for now. That's probably overkill, but it'll at least be good in the meantime. So we'll just put our resources in there for now. Now we need the sails. So we need the sail frames. Now it may be that we don't need to add the white wool, but I'm still going to, just because it looks better like this rather than empty. So our first farm is going to be using the mechanical harvester. So this is pretty easy to make, and we're actually going to make quite a few of these. Probably start with 3 on the smaller scale for now. So guys, while I was at Dragons just pulverizing my iron here, my wand actually just leveled up. So I should be able to do spells much easier now. I want to see how well I can do. I can do it without killing me now. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, this is exciting. So to start with, we're going to put our little windmill bearing right here. We're going to go up. Technically, we really only need to do 2 because then we can put all of these out. Now, if you look at this, so we can actually see the radius of what's connected here. So I want to make sure that is screwed on. Now, this is the radius. So you can see right here, if I were to scroll it down, this is what's being included inside of the build. Now, I don't know if you have to do this, but if you make the entire thing out of radial chassis like this, and you put the mechanical harvesters on, this should connect the system. So if I were to put some chests on the back here, as it sweeps around, it'll be harvesting everything and putting it in the chests. Now we can test this. Now this is actually going the wrong direction. So what we can do, these don't need to be turned around, but it looks nicer. And there we go. So now it is moving. Now technically we don't need this. That should be able to hold itself just like that. Now we'll need portable storage things. So I made enough for 8 right now. So that should be connected now to all this. We need to have a space this far apart. Now another thing is, while this is set, if you had farmland, this would be destroying the farmland because these are solid blocks. When it's moving like this, they're not real blocks yet. Now when I turn this on, they meet and they kiss. When they kiss like that, everything in the machine transfers over to this. So we're going to put chests on the back here. Now you actually do want them to be like this because when it starts moving, it'll separate them anyway, so you'll just have to deal with that annoyance. Just for decoration, I'm adding these 2 pieces. Those are not needed at all. That's just decoration, but I like having that. So these are going to kiss and apparently rip the whole world apart. It's actually the linear chassis is what we wanted, not this radial one. The radial one is only for these vertical ones. Okay, so we got these linear chassis, so that is going to connect to all those. We can then put these on and grab those chests there. Now it's only grabbing these, so it's going to go around here and slowly harvest everything. Now this might be too close, so we might need to mine these. And so you'll just want to make out a path for how far away you're going to need to make your farm. Now like right there, it touched that block, so that might be able to actually be harvested. That's where the testing comes into play. But this whole thing is technically fake other than this little block down there that we can activate. So we kind of got this shape here. It might be able to do these ones. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll find out. It might also be able to do those. I don't know. We can test just by finding out, like it goes over it, so it should be able to get all of those, and technically it even goes on these. So basically anywhere this touches, it should be able to harvest, but you can just find that out through trial and error. Yeah, so this is the first of our many farms that we'll be getting, so I'm just going to keep making more of these, and every now and then you guys will see me kind of stop by and we can check up on how everything is growing. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you guys want to see more of this content. It was really fun to try to get the Create stuff going. It was a little bit different than I'm used to. When I first tried out Create, it was with Exuma Void's mod pack, where it was a bunch of other mods just to help you out with the process of Create. But this will be something that expands and grows as we go on. Feel free to check out my other main channel, VENOM Surge, where I do Elder Scrolls Online tutorials and make unique builds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.